means you don't even have to be here. All right, great. So, thank you very much for taking a selfie with me. And let's go ahead and get started. So, first, I'd like to give you a brief introduction. Hello, everybody. Hello. My name is Denai. Oh, there we go. And I am a gameaholic. So I also say, hi, Denai. I know it's early, so far I've been 2 years sober. Video games. My last addiction was Diablo 3, and I had to play that game so badly because I waited like 10 years since Diablo 2 came out, and it was a really rough 2 months to say the least. So it's a really awesome game. But then I fell off the wagon. On October 1st, 2015, Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, and I waited 8 years for this game to come out. And the first 48 hours was touch and go. It was tough. So, I'm here to talk about video games, gamers, teaching to gamers. So I want to go over quickly a little bit of agenda of what we're going to be going over in the next 45/hour. We're going to talk a little bit about the brief history of video games. Now, one of the reasons why I came up with this topic this year, and anybody here has been to any of my other sessions in the past years? We got a few repeats. Thank you very much for coming back and suffering through my speeches again. Not only is that like I talk a lot about technology and education, but whenever I bring up video games and and gamer jokes, and it just goes over everyone's heads. So I realized there's a disconnect between educators teaching to these video gamers. So the emphasis is I want you guys to understand this culture, these kids who are all gameaholics. So we're going to talk about video game addiction, which is actually a real thing. And how that affects education and how we teach the students today. We're going to talk about the culture of gaming, because it is a very unique subculture that unless if you're in it, like any subculture, you're looking in from the outside and you just don't get it, you don't understand it. So I want to give you a little glimpse of that culture. And we also come up with educational approaches to be able to come and speak to these gamers and relate to them in a way. And then at the end, I'm going to give you 2 tools that might help, free tools that would, in fact, gamify your classroom. So first I want to tell you a little bit about me and why I'm standing up here talking to you about this topic today. Well, first off, I was made in Taiwan. Yeah, and then, I was, as the joke goes, I was exported here at a tender age of 2 to the United States. And because of that, I actually learned Chinese first, and then English was my second language. So I had reading deficiency, reading problems in school. Growing up, going through high school, I actually made it through high school without completing an entire novel, because I just couldn't read and comprehend the written language very well. So because of that, I had a lot of reading problems, and I wasn't very engaged in school. And on top of that, I had this little problem, ADHD. Now, do you know anybody with ADHD? Now, back then it was rare, but but it happened. But now, practically everybody has that, right? So, but the thing is, because we immigrated here, and my parents opened up a restaurant, we were actually very poor. Right? We were on free and reduced. So I actually count that as a blessing because they didn't have enough money to send me to a psychiatrist to put me on meds to take care of that problem. So instead of being a problem, I turned that into my greatest asset. So because I had to deal with this problem, quote unquote, I had to learn how to harness that. And with that, the result is I can actually absorb and comprehend information at a far greater rate than my peers and even people beyond that, because I had to turn that into my greatest asset. In fact, it can even be considered a superpower. Because when you think about it, I can actually see the digital environment, or anything actually now, and my brain processes it faster than I can think about it. And in a sense, when I'm playing one of these games that you have a million things flying at you, I get into this mode where like things are moving in slow motion, but not really. So kind of like the bullet time in the Matrix, things slow down, you're like that. So it's just incredible how I was able to process that. So that because of that, I was really not engaged. In fact, like I even failed a math class. I point that out because how many Chinese kids do you know failed a math class, right? Really? No, it's unheard of. But it wasn't because I didn't get math. Actually, I'm really proficient in math. It's because in the classroom we were moving at such a slow pace that I just became disengaged. I fell asleep all the time. Teachers threw chalk at me. Actually, I was rounding chocolates around too. It was, but one of the things I loved was video games. Video games held my attention. I gravitated towards that because it really gave me an outlet to be able to focus my energy. So when I sit in front of a video game, I could be engaged in that thing for an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, and not even know time went by, which is scary. So because of that, I taught myself programming, so computers were really natural. I wanted to build my own games, so I'm like, oh cool, I learned to program. And then I went into digital learning because I was like thinking to myself, well, this system didn't work for me, but how can I build these assets in a way that really relates to the kids now? So we're in a world of instant gratification. So I'm going to show this pretty quick little video here from my favorite television show.
Okay, we're going to stick this in here, and then I'm going to pour in the milk.
I guess we need to
this works because I didn't bring a change of pants.
Can you hear that?
Uncle, it's a big picture. That's it. No cake for you. Anyone else want to join in on cake cost?
It's just kidding, boys and girls. Everyone gets a cake.
So I love that clip, but it really exemplifies the aspect of kids nowadays. They grew up with having a device in their pockets. They could look up anything. They could find answers to problems. Where back in the day when we were looking for information, we had to ask an adult, and sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. But if we really want to find information, we actually have to physically relocate ourselves to a library. Go look in the Dewey Decimal System or catalog to find a book or a reference material. Or even worse yet, go look something up and scan through hundreds of pages in a microfiche for that one article that was published in 1978 or something like that. That was a lot of work, but now you can just go up and say, hey Siri, what's the answer to this? And actually with the new iPhone 6S, they actually have the feature where you can say, hey Siri, what's the answer to life's problems? And then it'll actually answer you. That's really cool. But anyway, so they're in this world where they have this access, and because of that, they expect that in the classroom. So because they have all this digital media, we're actually catering to an accelerated mind, and that's why when we put them in an education system where we're trying to spoon feed information, it's not that they're not getting the information, it's just coming to them too slowly in a way. So how do we cater to the accelerated mind? And obviously we were talking about gamification. So I want to see, anybody in this room gamer? All right, cool, we have a few gamers in here. More than I expected. So probably the title really attracted me, right? Yeah. So, we go, anybody here from the classic arcade gaming days, like, oh cool, like Pacman, and then, oh cool. So you didn't consider yourself a gamer, but you played those games. So then console gaming, like basically Nintendo on up, So who here are console gamers? We should have less hands now. Atari, yeah, Atari console. Woo! Atari 2600, combat. Portable game. So like, like PSP or Game Boyers here. Cool, yeah. Portable gaming. So we're basically going through the generations of like different access. So we went from, physical location with arcades to the home to now portable to now everybody has a smartphone. So anybody here, smartphone gamer? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. I should see more hands. Anybody play solitaire on your phone? All right, you're a gamer. Yeah. You're a gamer. Yeah, there we go. Here's my solitaire. So, I want to talk a little bit, a brief history of video games and how it kind of evolved. So we started with this. Pong. Yeah, by Atari. At the time, it's just simple, but people were enamored by that technology. To be able to turn a dial and make something move up and down and make the ball bounce. Wow, that was just incredible space age technology at the time. And people were addicted to this, actually, because it gave them out. Something as simple as that. Then we moved forward to Pacman. Things get more sophisticated. We're moving Pacman around, Donkey Kong, Super Mario Brothers. So this arcade game started to develop and become more sophisticated. Then we move on to console gaming era, where we have that's an arcade game. We have Zelda, Street Fighter, Sonic. So things are becoming more fast-paced, more action-packed. Things that really cater to the not the Pong generation. It was like boop, 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 boop. Now it's like do a million combo moves and kick the other person's butt. Or Sonic, that you're running through this maze at 1,000,000 miles per hour and you're trying to collect these coins and avoid getting hit. I mean, it's just really impressive. And it just keeps getting more and more sophisticated to today's gaming is just like, it's incredible. So, even with the latest game I played, Metal Gear, I mean, it's just incredible. So, I want to talk a little bit about this, because this is a theory that I've been touting for the past 6, 7, 8 years now, I think, where we correlate the entertainment industry with education. So over here on my right and your left, we have cartoon characters. So these are the characters that you probably grew up with, loved, like Mickey Mouse, the Smurfs, Felix the Cat, and maybe SpongeBob. So what's going on is, like, as a kid, your parents put you in front of the boob tube or television, and they say, go sit there and watch this cartoon. You watch it, you get entertained by it, you might learn a moral story or not. But the thing is, like, you're being entertained by this. But secondly, you're also being taught, this is where I sit, and this is how I learn. I learn from the tube. And they're passively absorbing this information being doled out to them. But then when video games came out, the entire dynamics and interaction changed to where instead of sitting there passively watching the story unfold, now you are actively engaging in these avatar lives. And who here plays Mario? Anybody? Yeah. And people who play Mario love Mario, right? Because you become really, really attached to these characters because you're forming a bond or relationship, just like how you form the bond with Mickey Mouse. You're forming it with this character. But instead of just passively watching them do the thing, you're actually moving them. You're telling them to jump. You're telling them to kick that turtle and run through the level and save Princess Peach. So you're doing all these actions. So now they have these control over the story. They have control over how the game plays out. And they come to class, and we still have, hopefully we won't still do that anymore, but we're putting them in 19 rows, and we're up there, and we're saying, hey, now we're going to learn about blah, 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 blah. And then they're like sitting there going, where's my control? At home, I play these games and I can control. I can do things. I can make decisions. I can, play a level multiple times and do all these different things. So then what happens? They disengage, go to sleep. And you can talk. So really, the entertainment world is shaping how these kids expect their information and how they take on the content. So this video by a YouTuber that I found online last year does a really good job at describing a contrasting point. If you ever watch the YouTube channel Vsauce, he has one point with various educational topics that is just fascinating. So, except I need to get the audio guy to turn up the volume. I wonder if
Provide this.
huh?
Are you going to provide the PowerPoint for us afterwards?
Oh yes. That reminds me. I need to send out a sign-up sheet,
Okay.
which actually I have a slide that reminds me to do that because I always forget.
Okay.
So I guess I'll start over here. So I'll just write your email down and then you just get an email at the end. Oh, thanks for the
Screen. To describe a generation that for the first time ever was growing up to think that images on screens weren't just something to passively stare at, but instead were something to be manipulated. Well, today, it's even more extreme. The tools and connectivity provided by the web allow us to think of images on screens not just as things to manipulate, but as things to project our own identities onto. Not everyone who does this is a professional storyteller, or acclaimed poet, or coherent. But content aside, hyperlinked webs of human expression are incredibly rich environments, and they exercise the brain. More so than books? Well, for the sake of argument, let's read From Everything Bad is Good for You, a book by Stephen Johnson. Now, in this passage, he imagines a world in which books were invented after video games and the World Wide Web. Kids everywhere are starting to read these newfangled books, and teachers and parents are concerned. He imagines they might say something like this. Perhaps the most dangerous property of these books is the fact that they follow a fixed linear path. You can't control their narratives in any fashion. You simply sit back and have the story dictated to you. For those of us raised on interactive narratives, this property may seem astonishing. Why would anyone want to embark on an adventure utterly choreographed by another person? But today's generation embarks on such adventures millions of times a day. Reading is not an active participatory process, it's a submissive one. The book readers of the younger generation are learning to follow the plot instead of learning to lead. Interesting.
So that's a really interesting way to kind of like contrast the aspect of like, these kids, how can we thrust them into that linear model? This is a great video by Visa. And I really love how he describes that environment. Because what if the world were done the other way? Let's go ahead and... So, let's talk about video game addiction. So, like any other addiction, there's a desire and a need to do it. Whenever I start a new game, I'm like, I just want to do the next level. I just want to do the next level. I have this like uncontrollable desire, and sometimes I can't sleep because I'm thinking about the next thing that I could do, or redoing something in that level that I did wrong, and I just kind of like want to go back and fix it. So, I want to tell you that it's a widespread epidemic. 97% of youth ages 2 through 17 have played games. So those are the users. Lots of users out there. There's 64 million kids just in the US alone that are in this statistical range. It is the fastest growing segment of addiction out there. So there's this video from China that they actually sent kids to a boot camp where they remove them from the internet and games. And it's just really startling that something like this even exists. So I'm just going to show you a little clip about that.
Internet addiction. Internet addiction affects millions of people in China. And to fight the problem, rehabilitation camps have opened up around the country. VON was granted rare access to an internet addiction camp in Beijing. VON reporter Jessica Pong has more.
17-year-old Yan Xiyang has spent the past 2 months at a boot camp housed inside a Beijing military compound. He and 20 other peers have been sent here without access to the outside world. Cell phones and computers are strictly forbidden. They rise at 6:30 a.m. every morning to begin military drills. And why? They're being treated for internet addiction. The Chinese Internet Network Information Center reports that there are over 300 million people in China who play online games, and 14% of China's youth, or 24 million people, are addicted to the internet. Researchers use questionnaires to determine if someone has an unhealthy obsession with the internet. Subjects who fit the bill typically spend 10 hours per day, 6 days per week playing online games.
Wow.
Addiction researchers from Xidian University have studied the negative effects of internet addiction disorder, also known as IAD. They spoke to BON via Skype from Xi'an.
So that's just a little interesting news company. You can find it on YouTube. Just search for Chinese internet addiction boot camps, and then you can find that video. But it's just really startling that these kids have testimonials talking about how they constantly need it and just like drugs. So it's just it's a real thing. So and the reason I point that out is because people who have that addiction get scoffed at. Like, no, really, you have a game addiction. Yeah, no, it's real. In fact, there's a TED Talk, a guy who did a TED Talk on that specific subject, where bringing awareness that really it's a problem. So why is it so addicting? Let's talk about those properties. Well, first off, it offers the user a temporary escape from reality. So the whole trying escapism mentality. So now they're being transported to another world or different environment or whatever. There's actually components of social and identity. So you can be anyone who you want to be, or who you desire to be. But you're also social, so you're interacting with other users as well. Because like the online multiplayer gaming is huge. So it's not just you sitting in front of a console, shooting at asteroids anymore. Now it's you in front of a console shooting at asteroids, working as a team with other people playing the same game, coordinating that aspect and accomplishing a goal. So it's very social. And that social aspect is really driving the addiction portion of it. They find it very challenging. We want to be challenged, and the games are challenging. It gets harder and harder and harder as you progress. And there's goals to achieve. And the most important part, and this is part that we in education can really harness, is the constant measurable growth. Feedback to the student is important because they're constantly craving for information about how well am I doing? Am I doing better? Am I doing better? Am I doing better? It's the way the video game is doing. Like if you ever play Invaders, how many stars do you get? 1, 2 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars? That's a very simplistic measure, but but in other games you have much more measures. So constant measurable growth is very important to this. All right, so there we go. Around good. Yeah, I have to put those in there because I forget, honestly. So video games are a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's not going away. It trumps movies, television shows. I mean, it's just huge. It's just getting even bigger. In fact, one of the games that came out last year, Grand Theft Auto 5, broke records. They made billions of dollars in day one, and it's just constantly growing. And it's just one game that's really well done, but one game. And Metal Gear, what I'm playing, did really well too. And then coming up next Fallout. So they are an addiction. So so you're a teacher. What can you do? Well, we want to harness the power of gamification. So what I'm trying to do here is I want to build empathy for you. So with empathy, you have a better ground to relate to the students. In fact, it's such a big thing. A book recently came out a couple years ago called 3 years ago, called Ready Player One, which is going to be made into a movie, which is all about the virtual world where people plug in and they live their lives as this avatar. And it's actually a very good book. And if you grew up in the 80s, you'll love it. It makes millions of pop culture references from the 80s. So, but they're making this book. But what it does is it really brings to light, that world. And because it does have a moral story, to unplug and to deal with real life and not just the virtual life. And also identity. Who are you really? Are you you, or are you your avatar? You don't know, do you? Okay. So my goal is to make it so that the more you know about it, so that you can relate to these kids growing up as a kid into their adolescence and into adulthood, why they have this problem. And the more you know, the better you are. Or what I really like is this one here.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Anybody remember that? Yeah, I love that saying. So the more you know, the better off you'll be with understanding these kids, the culture. So we're going to go over, first off, we're going to want to talk about their language. So the title that I wrote down, anybody here understood what that meant here. If the gamers, of course. You know. So it's what we call lead speak. You know. It's basically, you know, came about in the early days when we were playing like text games or on BBSs, bulletin board systems with the modem, we dialed in. So we came up with this like lead speak, which basically like inverts letters and uses numbers and things like that to kind of like, you know, how nowadays like everything's LOL and OMG and all that kind of stuff. So this lead speak's been around since like 80s actually, even like the maybe 90s. So like, you know, the title, so if you want to translate this like, hey new actually signifies like a newbie, like, you know, if you're a new person to the game, so we call people who just enter a game noobs because they're inexperienced, you know, and they do something stupid, we go, hey dude. Kind of like, you know, it's semi-derogatory in a way, but and we put L33T, which is translated elite, so we're the elite. And PWN is basically it's like saying I'm gonna own you or kill you or not kill you, but you know, like defeat you or something like that. You know, Pong, you know, camper. That's I threw that one in there. I don't think it was in the title because like, you know, camper signifies somebody who just sits in one place and waits for people to spawn, you know, so appear and you just kind of shoot them. So like we hate campers because it's a stupid way of playing games. So we kill them. You know? Shakes my head, SMH. Actually, that's a modern term, so everyone should know what SMH is. Yeah. And then we got the little Scooby. No emojis. So emojis do a lot more. Okay, so y'all prepare to be schooled today. So first off, yeah, it's all about levels. So you know, when kids start, they're all level 0, level 1, and they want to achieve the next level. So they have this constant motivation to want to level up. So like, you know, what level are you guys here? You know, are you like, you know, level 1, level 2? Actually, I came across this really interesting thing. Like, you know, what if levels? What age, my age, is a level? Then all you guys, kids, like in your classroom, you know, I'm your guru because I have a lot more levels than you. So you can think about that, like, you know, you express yourself like, I leveled up 20, 30, 50, 70, whatever times, you know, over you're only like level 14, what? You know, so you communicate to them to that regard, like, oh yeah, I am only level 14. You know, or 13 or 12 or 18 or something like that. You know. So it's just a funny way to kind of like say, hey, you know, not saying your age or your experience, you're saying, I'm level 58. Got you there. So let's understand their language. Okay, so grinding. What is grinding? Huh? No, it's not sex. Yeah. So basically, it's a repetitive act to accomplish doing a menial task over and over and over again to get coins or experience. So like, you know, so like an example is like I played this game a long time ago where I was grinding and I was doing my fishing skill. So I'll sit there in front of gear, hit the button, fish. Success, yay, okay. Fail, 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 fail. An hour later, I might gain a level. So the crazy thing is like, they do this. And they have fun doing it. Like, you know, it's like, I have fun doing it. I'm like, oh, cool, fishing. Yay. In a game. But the thing is, like, you know, grinding is a very big aspect in gaming because, like, you know, the developers, they don't want to make a ton of content, so they make you do repetitive things over and over again to do, so that they don't have to build more content. So grinding is a very big aspect in gaming, and how do they get these kids to do these menial tasks over and over again? Don't we wish to have that magic key to get them to learn curriculum? Right. All right. So farming is another form of grinding, but basically farming is like, you know, going through a level and hitting all the spots and then waiting like a requisite number of times. So like, you know, sometimes like let's say you're mining, so the mine resets every 8 hours. So you go hit the mines and you wait and you do it again. And you have to do it before someone else does, so you set a timer on your watch, and you wait for it, and then you wake up in the middle of the night, and you go, okay, I gotta go farm. So kids do that. It's not just about, like, you know, farming vegetables, it's about farming resources. It's another thing that is very big. So speedrun, you know, is a gamer term where turn into a 2.5-hour level because now you know the level, so you can get through it really fast. And your personal challenge is how fast can I get through it now that I know the level, and just keep doing it over and over again. So some people do levels like 10 times, 50 times, 100 times just to perfect that level. Kind of like a training for athletics or anything like that. They do it for gaming. Easter eggs is another common thing we found. Basically, it's like finding something that was hidden, is not part of the game, but just something that is more meaningful to you. Easter eggs are really just like titles. So now you know a little bit about the game language. So I want to kind of show you like gamer preferences based on what type of games to play. I need some water. Mouth is drying up. I'm actually surprised I'm not coughing as much. Last week I was in England and I picked up a little bug that kind of just a little cough. And people were coughing on me. I was like, whoa, that's kind of absurd. So there's dozens of game genres. So I'm going to go through a few of these genres and kind of like show you what they all mean. Cool, got 15 minutes if we want to stay. All right, so the first one is the most popular game type, which is called FPS. So FPS is an acronym for first-person shooter. And games like that are like, one of the very popular ones is Halo on the Xbox, like Metal Honor, Call of Duty. Basically anything where you're holding a gun in a first-person environment and you're shooting stuff or going through a level in that regard. Far Cry, Grand Theft Auto, those are all considered, actually, Grand Theft Auto now is third person. But that type of game type is very popular. It's like the most popular game type because it's very immersive. It started out with, back in the day with Wolfenstein and Doom back in the 90s. So with that, we can attribute some personality traits to this type of game stuff. Right? So the kids will gravitate towards this game. Might be more aggressive. They might have a tendency for more violence because they're doling out their aggression against other opponents or monsters or aliens or whatever. They might be bullies in real life. They might want to assert some level of dominance. And in some cases, like they can also be a little vindictive because, like, if somebody homes you, you're like, oh, I gotta get that guy back, and then they do a lot of things to try to kill them, get them back, or something like that. So it might be a little bit. And down below, this is just like a first-person shooter. This is like a YouTuber who actually took a first-person shooter and did a real-life version of it, which is pretty cool. So, but the thing is, like, there could be positive attributes to this type of gamer as well. They're highly perceptive, so they look at an environment and they can see things because they have to be very, very keen on their perception. They're also, in a lot of cases, have to be team players. So when you're playing a squad, like everyone has to do their own thing. They can't be a lone wolf because then you lose or you die. So you're working together with other people. So you have to communicate and be a team player and work towards a goal, whether it be to kill everyone or capture the flag or meet some sort of objective. They're really fast on the reactions because they have to translate the console or the mouse and then be able to move left and right, and react to the other players to dominate them. And they're also highly adaptive too. So like, when they play these games, like they're always in different environments and they play different game titles. So that might be in space in one title, it might be in World War II in another, it might be in fantasy world in another version. So they adapt to these different environments. So I just want to bring up, like, we have our negative traits and then we have things that we can harness from people who play that type of game. So MMORPG, another acronym, which stands for massively multiplayer online role-playing game. This is actually the next most popular because it's just such an immersive world. In fact, it's becoming more and more popular because there's so many free games out there right now, like Dota 2, which is actually a free massively multiplayer online game, where they actually have worldwide tournaments and people fly in from all the world. They compete for prizes in the thousands and thousands. In fact, like I can't remember what the highest prize was, but it's a significant chunk of change. So these teams come together and they compete in this virtual environment. And so like, Diablo is considered one of those. World of Warcraft is the most popular. Gosh, I would not touch that thing with a 10-foot pole because I know my life will end if I play that game. Star Wars Old Republic and Eve. So with these, these kind of people, they spend a lot of time in this world, so they can be more reclusive. They feel they're really sheltered. They can be very passive, so they're not just students who like raise their hand. They're like, okay, I'm just like absorbing this information, and then I'm gonna try to figure it out on my own. That tendency for antisocial behaviors, or they can also be none of the above and just be a very well-adjusted student. But the thing is, like, we have all these different aspects that are part of it, and this is kind of like a video of Dota 2 playing down there. So like you see that, it's got people in a group, or they're moving together, they're on a quest to find the Holy Grail. So they're really big team players. They also have a very strong sense of economics, because part of the online world is that understanding what an item is worth, how much it's cost, and how much you can sell it for to trade up for your goods. So they're really good at economics, and actually the market fluctuates in a lot of these games. So sometimes like an ore might be worth like 10 gold, but then another month it might be worth like 50 gold because the economics change and they actually track those economics. And there's websites devoted to that statistical analysis. So it's actually pretty crazy. Like they're very goal oriented. So that you have to work towards a goal, whether it be a quest or your own personal goal. Like I want to be like level 75 elf mage with an emphasis on medium range weapons. So they have to kind of like know where they're going. They're digitally social, because you have to be social online, typing or chatting or things like that. They're really great at decision making, and they're really good at long-term planning, because you have to plan. You can't just run in and go hack and slash and make it through. You have to make a plan for what you want to do. So this little like star map here, this is actually the level progression of Dota, which is oh gosh, I can't remember the name acronym for that. Destiny, Defender. Oh, what's something, whatever. So I know this much. So this is like you start out here in the middle, and let's say you want to be that class. I mean, you can't see the words, but each of these endpoints is a class of character. So you can progress in actually multiple directions, but if you want to specialize, you have to start heading in that direction. But you can actually go this way too. And like, so you can like dual class. So this is kind of like an example of like how sophisticated these games are. And I say, okay, I want to be an elf mage, that I also want to specialize in this particular trait too. So you start making your way through that skill tree. That's pretty intense stuff. All right, so how's everyone doing today? Is pretty good information so far? Yeah. I mean, we're actually at, well, normally we would end in 5 minutes, but you guys want to stick around. So we got Fighter here. This is the next popular one where basically you're basically going head-to-head against another opponent. Street Fighter is the most popular one that everyone knows, in Mortal Kombat as well, for its bloody gore. Dead or Alive, Soul Calibur. So they're very popular games that are out there, and these students are more aggressive. They can have a tendency for violence, and they're very highly competitive because you're really going head-to-head with somebody instead of well, they do have online now, but usually you're together with the person and friendly competition. But these students here, they are perceptive. They have very fast reactions because they have to like react to what the other person's doing to outmaneuver them. This is a new clip of Mortal Kombat 2. Older version before it got really boring. They have to be very adaptive. They have really good memory. So imagine memorizing a move where you have to do half circle, forward, turn, back, hit this button, forward, back, wait quarter second, hit this button, and do this, and then wait for the person to do that, and then so you do this complicated maneuver, and when you do it, you get this massive combo, which is awesome as a reward. But they have to memorize these moves, and actually, I memorized all the moves for Sub-Zero with that game, and I can pull it off. which are like, basically you're going for a story, sometimes linear, sometimes not. Assassin's Creed, Drake's series, Tomb Raider. So basically you're like a third-person view and you're going through the level. So students who are going through these, they're actually being told a story through this medium, and it can be more reclusive, which is about the only thing I could come up with. Because they like to follow order, so they're going through the story, you're moving through a level like this. This is actually a live action, people playing, being assassins in real life, jumping through the rooftops of Paris. So they're actually mimicking the game. This is not game footage, just in real life. They accept repetitive actions, so you go through this level, if you don't do well, you have to repeat the level again, and it's usually the same thing that happens every time. There are very little variances and very linear as well. Simulation strategy, which is the games that I really gravitate towards, like SimCity, Sims, like these type of games are really awesome. And if you have kids playing these games, like it's actually a very good thing because it really it could be reclusive. Actually, I was. But the thing is, you're planning, you're thinking through a strategy, you're very strategic, you're going through this like the mechanics of that world, and you're very analytical. So like for me, like I love these games, and this one in particular, capitalism, actually taught me a lot about business because it's a business simulator game that came out in the mid-90s, and basically you had to like do manufacturing, research and development. You had to put money towards like staff training, and you had to build retail outlets and build. So it's a really fun game, and I learned a lot about like the whole entire supply chain management aspect of it through that game. So these games are really awesome because it allows you to be able to do simulations and try things and fail and send tornadoes out there because it's just fun. RTS, real-time strategy, which is another game style, very popular, like StarCraft, Warcraft, Command and Conquer. Basically, you're moving troops around and trying to get to an objective from a top-down view for the most part. I would say reclusive now because like I'm trying to find negative things for some of these games, but the top 3 were the ones where you had the most. But so now the positive traits are like again, they're very resourceful, they're good at planning, they're really good at multitasking because when you're playing these games, like you're sending these troops out there and the opponent's attacking you, like 5 things can be happening simultaneously, so you have to process that information and react to it in a timely manner. And you get really good at it. Like what I did, I could actually fill out an entire strategic map and be able to handle like 5 different things going on at the same time without being overwhelmed, which is a very positive trait. RPG, which stands for role-playing games. These are another genre. Basically, just these people can become very reclusive because this is the Dungeons and Dragons type of environment, Zelda type game, where basically you start out at level 1 and then you start making your way through the story. You get better skills, better points, better armor, better things as you move forward. And like I said, planner, determined, maybe you can do repetitive things. Like a lot of grinding happens in this game. And last but not least, we have time wasters. So time wasters are games that basically just do repetitively for no reason for basic rewards. Any Candy Crushers out here? Anyone that want to admit that you're a Candy Crusher? Yeah, I play Hay Crushers. I love Hay Day. Hay Day is a great time waster. I just go, feed the cows, feed the pigs, things like that. Now the thing is, these are all mobile games because it's right here, you pop in, you have some idle time. So what do? You write a report. No, you play these games. So some people like that can be bored easily, and they have an addictive personality. Here we go. And any positive traits? No. No. There's nothing good about that. Candy Crush. Whoa. I'm not sorry. Well, man, I threw in here Minecraft. Minecraft.
That's when I asked you where did Minecraft fit in.
Yeah. It's so bizarre that nobody really knows. But the thing is, like, what I think about it is, like, it really gets to your, like, the Lego, the building aspect, constructing, making things happen. So it's a lot of these kids, especially, like, grade schoolers, they love Minecraft. They can spend hours and hours playing Minecraft. And it's just like this open world. There's really no objective, there's no goal. no story. There's nothing. You're just building blocks. So you gotta think, like, you know, how much fun was Legos back in the day when you didn't have a plan? You just start building stuff. So that really is a really great creative outlet for kids. You know, they love that challenge, even though there's like no real goal. So it's just amazing that can happen. So let's spend the next 5 minutes, and thank you very much for staying over. I really do appreciate it. That is like, huh? What was that? Oh, where did the attendance sheet go? Oh, it's still here? Oh, it's supposed to be passed around. Okay. Well, it's being passed around, but if you want to, like, you know, scribble on a piece of paper and just throw me your email, that would work too. So how do we tap into that power? So the truth is, like, we've actually been doing it for decades. You know, we've been like, you know, awarding students, doing like, you know, Boy Scouts and merit badges and things like that. So, you know, we have technology, and I have this really cute little clip here that I want to show you about technology. Let's go here. Oh, man.
Emma.
Technology does a lot of things, but yeah, you can't substitute everything for technology. So, you know, the truth is, like, you know, we're the wisdom for the students, and we're trying to help them navigate this digital highway. So do we make education into a game? Well, truthfully, no, we don't do that. So I want to just dispel the myth of gamification. Gamification is not creating a game. It's not creating a simulation. It's not making fun activities. You know, you can have activities, but it's not making just going through that whole process. It is especially not entertainment. You know, we don't want to entertain these students, but we want to. It's not even. We want to make it into just entertainment, because that's dumbing down our source material. You know, but it is like, you know, utilizing the subtle psychological cues and intrinsic and extrinsic reward system that really get us to do these repetitive tasks over and over again. It's also very personalized and unique to every single person. So right now we have that one-size-fits-all cookie cutter mentality, and we try to do IEPs, differentiated learning. It's really hard because you have to invest a lot of time and effort into it. So it's about taking the what we have existing and making education closer. So, you know, gamifying the education experience, providing instant feedback so that you will process progress and achievements, awards, and badges. So I'm going to go really quickly about the two. One of them is a tool that I had a hand in developing. It's one thing that actually, the reason why I'm bringing that up is, like, we're looking for pilot teachers who want to experiment with this tool. We have a few schools who are out there using it right now and having great success. But before we make it into a commercial venture, we need people who want to look for a tool to be able to do that. So, you know, so there's KB Compass, which is the one that I will. Another one is the 3D Lab. So that's another one you should look at, where they actually put like level progression through materials as well. So here we go. It's an open platform. It's customizable, rewards centric, build branches in it. But the way that we approach it is we actually gamify traditional learning material. It's a closed beta, so right now, like, we're only accepting applications. So I'll send a kind of like, would you like to be part of this email at the end when you do that. But basically, we provide a authoring suite. It's project-oriented, so we build like projects in the system so that students are going through that. And it also has assessments and artificial intelligence built in, which is really awesome, I like to say. Pacman is actually one of our partners who uses our platform to dispense their content out. And we actually have more and more people who are using that technology to gamify their learning materials. So here as educators, what I'm saying to you is that you can use this technology, kind of like how you use Edmodo or some of these other technologies to engage the students, but gamify learn. So let's just do a quick look at it. This is a project here in a badge. Here's the contents of the project. exhibit evidence. But the process of learning is like we want the students to study content, and then after they study content, then they have an opportunity to check their knowledge. So when they click on that button, an assessment system will be used to take them through a number of questions to determine how well they know the content. And it's not random actually, it's actually used with artificial intelligence. This is what we call a personal digital tutor. So pretty much think of it as this tutor is there and we're trying to figure out do they know this content. And notice that it doesn't say test, quiz, or assessment. We want them to think this is a checkpoint in your video game. So we want you to check your knowledge. So it's an intelligent tutoring system, like I said, the personal digital tutor. This is the most important thing about it, the instant feedback. So here we can say that the student is they're good at those two topics of integration that they were successful. And then these are the areas where you need to spend your time. So go focus your time on that, study it again. You did okay on those two yellow ones. But then the next step is, well, after you're done, you can take another assessment. That's not the same questions over and over again. The second time around, you get more feedback. So we figure out, okay, which ones did you do better? And also you see growth. Good positive reinforcement. This area gets smaller, colors change. So it's a really great process of learning. And the thing is, like, the materials in here isn't a game or a simulation. We're just gamifying the learning process. So now they're getting this feedback. They actually have a picture of a robot that travels the world, so there's actually global awareness happening with the cute little anecdotes that happen. And then also the best thing is, like, they see more green, they see less red as they go through this process. They're repeating it, remediating the content that's giving them the most problems, so they can do 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Like, remember the constant repetitive actions. That's the thing, is like we want them to repeat the areas that are giving them the most problems, that content area. And then they do it as many times as they want. So eventually you get to the point where like, ooh, mostly green and a little yellow. And let's say that there's a summative exam coming up at the end of the week. So if I were a student, I walk into class and the tutor is telling me, hey, you're really great at all this stuff. How's that going to help the student's confidence? A great deal, right? So confidence is key in test taking. So if we have this constant feedback, this constant progression as they're going through this content, and we have this in in hundreds of schools actually in the culinary arts field, because that's where I started building this material in. And the culinary arts students are some of the most difficult kids to get them to learn sanitation and all this kind of stuff. So we built it in such a way that they're getting this positive feedback and they're doing it. So really the biggest thing is that it also allows you to flip your class, because now you can actually monitor and see your students and see what level everyone's at on a global scale. So that's a really awesome way to approach it. So I know we're really quick about the learning process, but the thing is, like, we're looking for teachers who want to experiment. It's not an open thing where you can just anybody can sign up. It's only by invitation only. So I'll send an invite out, and it's very, I guess, I have to say, it's easy to use. So it's not like the stuff that you're using right now. We're designing it in such a way that anybody can input anything, and the system will automatically gamify it because the process is already there. Like the engine's built, all we need to do is put passengers in. And so here's another view of the students and everything like that. So realistically, I really do appreciate that there's a quote from one of the teachers who is adopting it for the school. But I'm gonna send you the slides, and the video's recorded so you can watch it over again. But so what did everyone think about the session? I really appreciate you staying over. Great. I really thank you all for your attention and time and actually going through these last slides. I know that this is the boring part of the presentation, but again, thank you so much. And I actually have a booth out there. I do sell content in the culinary arts world. So like the platform itself is free, but if you have a culinary arts program, that's how I make money. To be honest with you. So I guess it works. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Enjoy lunch.
No, I meant for lunch.
I would think you're right.
Yeah, sure. You know where that is?
where these don't really matter what order you do them in, you just have to do them like sequencing. So they have it to where you can actually put questions, you can have them go for resources, it's more of like kind of exploratory, kind of chemistry kind of thing. And so they're working on developing that, but they were already last week, they were sending us here in the sample case created, I think some majority of it. And then for the experimenting, I'm really excited about that. So.
Building games, you got a cheese factory. And kids see that. Yeah. But then when you gave like flat content, you know, they're saying, okay, this is content that presented in that way. You know, so the thing is, you can't mask a game into education. It just doesn't work. Yeah. Right. You're going to hear these at all? Yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, hey, thank you. All right. Oh, that's okay. Thank you very much for attending. Yeah. Was it good?
Yeah, it's very good. Like, I'm actually going to talk more about it. Not the video game aspect, more of the like working, targeting. I don't know if you've heard of the editing framework.
I've heard of that, but I don't have any experience.
Okay, well, I mean, basically they come up with a, hey, instead of like trying to make this game, like, oh, like we're going to gamify the experience with this very like badges and I don't know what stuff to talk about. Make an actual game that puts the rules to be whatever you really want them to do. So for example, if you want them to find X, then create a game where they're always having to find X.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a,
So.
excuse me, a good aspect. But the thing is, like, you know, with those type of applications, I find that there's a lot of work that goes into that. Just one little niche solution.
Right. Well, that's the tough part. Is you have to then create a game for every single topic that you want to do. But then the other thing is you don't have to go and have it. It's not just be going and creating an application. Yeah. You actually have to test it out and creating a application kind of thing.
Yeah. So our approach is like, if we build an engine that automatically does this aspect for you. That's it. So I'll send you an email and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I just have to test the audio. Very excited. Yes. Oh,
Hi, I'm Julie Hugh. I just wanted to know, so what content is already in there, or how does that work?
we have content in So I started out building colors content with the challenge of having yeah, but
I think it's kind of interesting.
no, so you know, the process of working.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. Would we need to do that in a math, I'm afraid it's easier than a math class?
Oh yeah. Actually, we're developing a new technology specifically tailored to math